Life is short, have an affair. That is the famous slogan from a website called Ashley Madison. And we just watched a documentary on Netflix. It was a 3-episode documentary, and we're going to get into it today. You guys, it's going to be a good one. Grab your coffee and let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Candidly with Coffee. And we are back, and we're going to be talking about the Ashley Madison documentary today. But before we get into it, let's just do our same old drill and a little housekeeping. So if you've not already subscribed to our channel, subscribe, like this episode. If you like what you hear, comment. We love to interact with you guys in the comments. And if you have not already left us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, we would really appreciate that. Do you have any reminders for them?
Nope, I don't. I don't got nothing for them. But I do want to say Happy Memorial Weekend, even though they'll be listening to this on Monday, so it's past.
You can say Happy Memorial Day.
True. Happy Memorial Day.
Yes. Yes, we are doing absolutely nothing special for Memorial Day, but that's the way I like it. It's a little more low-key than last weekend.
Way low-key. You went to Orange Theory, and I went to the gym. Actually, I went to a car meetup first, and then I went to the gym. And I was thinking to myself, like, man, has life changed for the Escobars? Back in the days, we'd be in Vegas on a boat or doing something.
Yeah.
Getting turned. No mas, I'm getting turned with my
Memorial
coffee.
was like, because it was like a big thing for us. We always did something Memorial. We always did something Labor Day.
Always.
I am happily planning to enjoy my cheat meal after this. We're going to go to Mexican food, Spartan Tacos, San Jose, if you guys are local.
Yeah.
And then I just want to chill for a little bit. I have a protein treat that I'm going to make for us, and I just want to chill.
Chill. Me too. I'm good. Got my workout over with. I don't got nothing else to do. Adam tried to invite me to a car meetup later in the work, and Gilroy said, hell no, I'm chilling. Enough for me.
Yeah, he's on his car meetup game.
He is.
I do want to say that at the end of June, we will be having a little turn-up kind of weekend because we're going to go to the Detox Sunday pool party. I'm not sure where it is. I'm going to put the flyer up on the screen. It's in San Jose. So if you guys are local, get your tickets now. Tickets are available now. I will link it down in the description. But it's a pool party that Mauricio Mejia, your client.
My client, yes.
He created Detox. He trademarked it. That's his.
That's his.
Many years ago. It was the pioneer of pool parties in the Bay Area, one of them. And it's coming back. He's reviving the Detox pool party, and we're going to be there. So if you guys go, make sure you come find us, say hello, let's take pictures, let's meet in person.
Meet and greet. I like that.
Yeah, like,
come
why
meet
not?
the Escobars, man.
Why not?
Come say hello.
It's something to do, right? It's a random Sunday in San Jose. So come out, grab some friends. It'll be a fun. There's going to be good music. A lot of the DJs that are going to be there, we've actually interviewed them for the Mauricio Mejia podcast. So I've gotten to know them. It's going to be some good music, just good times.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
Exactly. Catching up with old friends. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of old faces that we haven't seen in a long time. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, so if you're gonna be there, if you're thinking about it, comment. We want to know, and we can meet you and hang out a little bit. Spend Sunday together. So I'll throw that flyer up on the screen. I'll throw the information down in the description. But get your tickets because it's gonna sell out. Once the tickets are gone, they're gone. But we're definitely gonna go. I'm excited.
I think it's at the Doubletree downtown, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's the Holiday Inn.
It's the Holiday Inn?
It's not the Doubletree.
No?
I think it's the Holiday Inn.
I have to look. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to look.
Yeah, we'll put it up.
All right. So moving on, I wanted to show you guys this 30 years ago. It's the 30-year anniversary of the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson in June. And they did her 3 sisters did a documentary. I'm definitely going to watch it. It's on Lifetime. And I think obviously they started this documentary quite some time ago. And it's coming out in a few weeks, or actually it's coming out next week. It's coming out, I think, on the 1st or the 2nd on Lifetime. Ironic that O.J. Simpson died right before it came out. And obviously they planned it a while ago. Interesting,
I know,
right?
It is kind of crazy. Universal's like, all right, homie, it's time for you to go. That's it.
Yeah.
Done deal.
I think that's kind of like poetic justice. Like, you're gone now. They're giving her a voice. They're going to tell her story for the first time from the sisters, like
Yeah.
giving her a voice and telling the story from her. And it's also ironic timing that it's coming on the heels of all of this stuff. Again, we talked about it last episode, but with P. Diddy and his issue with Cassie and all of that.
Exactly. This was 30 years ago? Mm-hmm. I can't believe that. I swear to God, it does not feel like it was 30 years
I
ago.
know.
Holy shit.
I was glued to the television. I watched the trial. I got all into it. Back then, my cousin Lisa and I, we were big into like true crime. We would always watch trials. We watched the Menendez brothers trial. We watched the OJ trial. Yeah, I remember getting the verdict. I was at work. I worked at a call center at a credit union, and we were divided. We were divided. Like some people, when they heard that he was innocent, they were like, praise Jesus, and some of us were just like stoic, like just quiet, like wow.
I watched I paid attention to the Rodney King stuff heavily. That one was crazy too.
Yeah, I did too. I used to love that kind of stuff, like the true crime or like that kind of stuff play out. I used to watch like Nancy Grace and Court TV all the time.
Me too.
Like I followed also the Scott Peterson.
Did you?
The Scott Peterson trial with Lacey Peterson and all of that.
We're pissed. We're like, convict that fool. You know, a lot of men were mad. They know he did it.
Yeah, I followed that one closely.
How about you know which one I followed, paid attention to, just because I was involved in like an event and I met the father's poly class. We did an event in Frisco with him.
Yeah, for those of you guys don't know, poly class was a young girl. She was having a sleepover with her friends and kidnapped out of her bedroom window.
Yeah.
And found dead.
And can you believe that POS is trying to get out now? He's trying to say
Richard Allen Davis was his name. And I think
he's
my
still
brother,
alive.
my brother came in contact with him, saw him, or was at the same. They were at San Quentin for a short period of time. Their time overlapped.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the inmates didn't get with him, like what he did.
He's still alive?
It's been like 30 years because
He's got to be elderly.
So when I did that event with Polly Class's dad, I belonged to Uso Car Club. It was like some kind of like he came speaking, and we were there with our cars. And I was probably like 19 or 20 years old. I'm 49, so you're talking about 30 years ago too.
That's crazy that time flies so much. I feel like all of this stuff was kind of around the same time. Like I know the Scott Peterson thing, that was like 22 years ago or something like that. But it was like 20, 30 years ago, there was a lot of like notable crimes. Do you know what the sad thing is? You'd think like, oh, it's just not, there hasn't been anything like that. No, it just doesn't make mainstream news anymore. There's a lot of crazy shit. And when I look for cool things to talk about on this show, like there's a lot of crazy crimes that are committed that just like, they never make mainstream media, but crazy stuff.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
Like, why is it that some things catch fire and some things don't?
Just like not too long ago, we had a serial fucking killer out like in the Stockton area. They talked about it a little bit on the media. They caught him because, he was just being loose, but.
Yeah, they talked about it a little bit, but some of the, some things just don't make nationwide news and some things do.
Yeah.
And but then there's stupid shit like Scandival from Vanderpump Rules that literally makes CNN and Fox News and all that shit. Weird, right?
That's a joke. You're really talking about affair, really? Like, affairs happen every day, which we're going to get into another thing. But it's not national news. It's not that serious. It's an affair.
It's weird.
That should not talk, and that's why they want ratings because they know people talk drama.
It's crazy. Anyways, guys, time for a little word from One Up Nutrition. Code Janine gets you 20% off. I am going to be doing an updated YouTube video with my current supplement routine. I'm using quite a few supplements from One Up Nutrition these days, but I have to say I am truly loving. I've recently added the super magnesium also to my little pre-workout concoction. So I do Pure Rebuild, and then I do super magnesium and my pre-workout. And then I also wanted to give you guys a little hack. If there are certain days that you feel you're low in protein and you're not going to hit your protein goal, have a scoop of BCAAs. That's going to help prevent muscle loss. So you don't have to take BCAAs every day, but it's kind of like a nice, good emergency fund for days that you're coming in short on your protein. I know my ladies out there, some days you're coming in short, so you need to have BCAAs on hand to handle that.
Your ladies and sometimes my men.
Yeah, do they?
Sometimes, yeah. I look at their chart and like, hey, bro, you got to step it up, homie. Come on. You got to eat, man. It's not that hard. I don't want to put them on blast, but I remember one of my newest clients, he was like, damn, that's a lot of protein. That's going to be hard. I go, oh, my God, it's easy, dude.
Yeah.
You're just used to eating too much carbs is your problem.
Then if somebody says when they get their protein goal, like, wow, this is going to be hard, then I'm like, then you are someone that really needs to get your protein in. Because if you think this is hard, that means you haven't been getting your protein in.
Not even close. They're probably getting a third.
Yeah.
Way low.
Yeah. All right, you guys. So code Janine at oneupnutrition.com saves you 20%. I love their products, and I really believe that you will too. So moving on to a little bit of, let's see. Do we want some cheers? Comment corner.
Oh, comment corner. No, hold my coffee, huh?
Actually, no, I haven't had a hold my coffee in a while.
Wow, they're being nice.
Yeah, people, I think they're scared to be part of the Hold My Coffee segment. I haven't had a Hold My Coffee, but I do have this is actually not necessarily a comment corner, but it is a review, an Apple podcast review, and I'd like to share it. It says, I love starting my day with you two. I cannot say enough how grateful I am to have found your podcast. You're not only a wealth of useful information, you two are entertaining. Even my daughter, who used to hate listening to my podcast on our morning commute, loves listening to you guys. I even had to subscribe to your Patreon. Keep up the hard work, and thank you for taking the time to help us all out. That comes to us from Mick77, still alive. Thank you so much. That is so nice. What a nice review.
That's a beautiful review, and thank you for the support. And she's even going all in. She's on Patreon, so she's hearing the juice.
Yeah. Let me tell you guys, by the way, the Wednesday episode of Off Topic is juicy. We give a little bit of gossip from our trip to Miami, a little bit of BTS that we haven't shared, a little bit of juicy gossip. I divulged information probably that I've never said before on that episode. So, it's going to be a good one. I don't know what it is. There's like a safety I feel on Patreon where I just kind of like overshare sometimes. Sometimes I'll be honest with you guys. I even think like, ooh, I'm probably going to have to edit that out. But you know why I usually say, no, you know what? I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to let it fly.
But you might want to give a explicit little warning. Like, ladies, don't have your kids around when you listen to Patreon.
Yeah. Patreon, sometimes we talk about things that are inappropriate if it's kids.
Just being honest. That's all.
Just so you guys know, Patreon can be a little bit of R-rated at times, but we love it over there on Patreon. And Wednesday's episode is going to be a good one. So the next review, another 5-star review, Kristen Michelle. Finding Candidly with Coffee during my fitness journey has been a huge blessing. Each episode comes with useful nuggets and a great dose of humor. You are both so real and relatable, not to mention entertaining. Congrats on your success so far. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Kristen. We really, really appreciate that. Now we are going into a comment. Andrea Laura 85. I really need to work on my discipline. I just got back from a trip and had such a wonderful time, but I gave in to all the temptations. I feel so fat. I'm trying to get back on track now, hoping that it's mostly water weight, but my clothes feel tight. I have the 1UP cleanse, so I took that. Alcohol is my nemesis, especially on vacations. I do need a break to assess my habits. It's so toxic.
Ooh, she sounds like she did some damage. What did we just say this morning? You just weighed yourself, and you're under half a pound. And I said, you know the difference, babe, why you bounce back? Other than the fast, no alcohol this time.
Yeah.
I was only half a pound over, and I enjoyed myself over there.
Yeah, I'm half a pound lighter today, this morning, than I was before I went on the trip. But yeah, I talked with that to Lisa about that today as well. She says you probably saved about 2,000 calories by not drinking. She's absolutely right.
Yeah. Think about it.
Yeah.
All those days were there. There was alcohol flowing every single day.
Yeah, easily 2,000 calories.
That's a good guess. Could be even more.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
The way we used to drink and let loose.
Like a conservatively 2,000 calories. The way we always would get two, fancy cocktails, probably about 500 calories a piece easily with the juices and the sugars.
That's just dinner. We're not even talking about the events. We would have went crazy, more like 4,000, I think, all those days in Miami. So we saved all those calories. And that's what you always say. I like the advice you always give people is don't drink your calories, people. Don't waste it. Especially on alcohol. I get it. You want your drink, but you're wasting calories. Eat food instead. If you're going to do anything, eat food.
Yeah, I actually got a message, and it was a DM, so I usually don't share the private DMs, but it's someone who was listening to our show. And if you're listening, hello, you know who you are. You sent me a DM. You like to listen to us when you go on your walks. And she was just saying how, continue to share this message. It's very important. And it was a good reminder for her. She's, currently trying to go, alcohol free. She's 34 days alcohol free. And she knows for a fact how much better she feels when she abstains from alcohol. And the advice we gave, like, do a check-in with yourself. How long has it been since you have been alcohol free for 30 days or more, and not because of like a sickness or something? Just voluntarily stop drinking for 30 days and assess how you feel. And then the next time you say yes to a drink, ask yourself some questions before you do.
Yeah.
How is this going to make me feel? Do I really want this? Are these calories better spent somewhere else? And then I'm going to feel better. Just start asking yourself that. I started to ask myself those questions. And that's when I made the decision ultimately to stop drinking, and no turning back for me now, because honestly, like I've said before, my only regret is that I didn't do it sooner.
Hey, at least you did it though. And neither of us, the beauty of it is you didn't tell me to stop drinking.
No.
I just did it because for me, it was like, I just made a decision and said, you know what, Mike? I've been partying since a kid. I tried to fit in with friends. I tried to drink alcohol and be a cool guy. Then I was clean when I went on vacation. Then I got out. Then my old habits came back. Then when I went partying, I went too extreme. And I said, I'm an old dude. What am I doing? I don't need to drink no more like a kid. I just don't need it in my life. It's not conducive to my health. That's what I keep saying. If it ain't conducive to my health, I don't need it.
Right.
That's it. I made a decision. Done. And then you did it on your own. I didn't tell you to stop. I didn't tell you nothing. You did it all on your own.
Yeah, because like I said, I started asking myself those questions, and then the answer was no a lot of the time. So I just thought, you know what? Why is it that I ever say yes? It's never going to be, I'm never going to have more pros than cons. And I tricked myself into believing I needed it to have a good time.
Yeah.
And that was lies. I was lying to myself. I don't. I love it. I had the best time, probably the best trip. We've been to Miami 6 or 7 times. The best time I've ever had on a trip. And it was the first time I've ever gone.
What did I say? No hangover. And you remember everything.
Yeah.
Everything, all the details. Usually I'm like, what happened last night or this or that, or you just don't remember. The night goes by so fast because you're so loaded, But, I got to say something here on this podcast real quick because funny thing is when this girl first met me, she thought I was this, I hope he's not just this trainer, Mike, and he's stiff and he doesn't like to drink. He's going to have to loosen him up and get him to drink. Little did she know, she woke up the goddamn beast, Isn't that crazy? And now here we are, sober Sally's, years later, like we did a whole 360.
I know.
We started kind of like crazy.
I was just in a wild, I wanted to wild out at that time that I met you because I had been.
Oh, me too. Not just you, me too.
Yeah. I had been, like held down for such a long time and kind of like wasn't able to do what I wanted when I wanted. So I was in this rebellious phase. Like I'm going to drink, I'm going to party, I'm going to do whatever I want. No one's going to tell me nothing. So that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to make sure I was going to, find someone that wanted to have fun with me. I didn't want to go get, anyways, that's what that happened. That's why I had that mindset. But obviously things change, people change. But moving on, next comment is Darlene Drivera 165. I hope you do an off topic about Miami. I'm sure you've got some extra juice. In fact, yes, we did. And it's going to be up on Wednesday. And we did share some extra juice for the off topic VIPs. So thank you guys so much for supporting. You did get a little extra, read all about it over there because we divulge things that we cannot and will not share.
We cannot we just can't, not on YouTube.
Yeah.
That is a no-go.
Yep. All right, you guys, MegaFit meals. Let's talk about MegaFit. Just got my shipment on Friday. I got all the new meals. Everything that said new on the website, I got because I wanted to try all of them. Make sure you tune in to my Instagram this week. I will put my Instagram up on the screen. It's at Jay's Body Boot Camp, and I'm going to share my honest review on all of the new meals. But you already tried one, and what did you think of it, the jalapeno burger?
Smacking. Good. And another new meal that I tried, you got it again, was the quesadilla.
Oh, I got the quesadilla. I got
the buffalo chicken. I got the steak.
Yeah, I got the buffalo chicken. I'm going to have that this week also. I'm so excited for that one. I also want to say, if you've not given the pizza a chance, the pizza's really good. It does not look like it's that good, but it because it just looks like these little thin.
I saw that.
It doesn't look
Yeah.
special, but when you make it properly and you put it in a toaster oven, you make it and then you let it cool a little bit before you eat it. It is excellent.
I may have that tomorrow.
Excellent. I took it out. I'm having it.
I think I don't know unless she ate it. There might be an extra one. I think Alyssa had one. I saw it in the other fridge.
Oh, if it's in the other fridge, then yeah.
I'm snatching it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Because the ones in the fridge in the inside house, I pulled
I
those
know.
for me the
Those
next
are
couple
yours.
days.
We have rules. We know.
We have these rules, you guys, with
Yes.
the MegaFit meals. We
Yes.
all kind of convene over the box when it comes in. I get first dibs.
Yes.
And if you tag it for yourself, you kind of pull it out and put it in the fridge. Any of the ones in the freezer are fair game, and we kind of all divide
Basically,
and conquer.
that's communication, so we don't fight and get mad at each other.
Yeah.
Like, we don't eat each other's food. Respect.
I'm also very generous because technically those are my meals.
True.
But
You're not gonna eat them all though.
no, I won't. I won't eat them all. I would hate to see them go to waste. So
Yeah.
I like that everyone can enjoy them. All right, you guys, moving on. So who remembers this website? Ashley Madison. The slogan was "Life is short, have an affair."
Oh boy.
Do you remember it?
Come on, of course I do. I went and looked on it. I was curious.
So what do you recall?
But I didn't never signed up because it didn't pertain to me. I'm not a married man. I was a single man. That pertains to people who want to cheat.
Right.
Who am I going to cheat with? I was in no relationship. I could pretend like, hey, I'm pretend married and go on there and hook up with chicks, but for what?
But why would you want to? Why would a single guy though want to purposely find a married woman? That would be to me.
No.
potential
I
problems.
don't do that. I don't.
Yeah.
I've never crossed that line. I always thought that's bad karma and juju. I've
Yeah.
never wanted that energy to me because I always felt like you never know who that husband is. I was always no because I've had while I was a personal trainer, married chicks hit on me, and I'm like, I'm not crossing that line. No.
So some fun facts about this website, and we're going to get into that. I want to get into the documentary, but see this girl on the front? That is the face of Ashley Madison was the wife of the CEO. He convinced her to be the face of Ashley Madison.
No way.
So
that I didn't know.
yeah, so the CEO of Ashley Madison was a happily married, supposedly monogamous man, and he would proclaim like, "Oh no, I'm a faithful monogamous man. I love my wife. We communicate, but I don't judge people who do choose to have affairs because a lot of them." His whole thing was the way he justified it was he said that it saved marriages because it was for people who they needed their side thing, but they didn't want to destroy their marriage.
Yeah. What I always tell you why men seek a side thing because there's certain things their wives won't do that other women would do. I never knew about that category. Your kinks and your fetishes. I never knew about that.
Okay,
that was new.
let's talk about it because nobody else knows either. So so let me just get into the gist of this Ashley Madison situation if you guys don't know. So Ashley Madison was a website back in the 2000s, in the early 2000s, so before online dating was really a thing, and it was hooking up people who wanted to have affairs. So it was married men and married women or vice versa, whatever, who were seeking an affair, no strings attached. And it was like a dating website where you could enter in all your information, create a profile. Women could sign up for free
That I didn't know.
because they needed to get women on the site.
Of course.
But men, they could sign up for free, but in order to send messages or reply to a message from a woman, they had to buy credit. So it wasn't a membership site. They would set up their credit card, and it was almost like gambling. If you think about it, like they would get
Numbers game. Yes.
They would get addicted to messaging these women, and the company just started making money hand over fist.
Millions.
So they would, connect these people and they would communicate and meet up and have affairs. But the reason why it became a big media sensation is because there was this group of hackers called the Impact Team that hacked into the company's servers and stole all the data and wanted the company to shut down and said, if you don't shut down, we're going to leak the data of all of your database, all of your customers, which, by the way, they got up to they had 40 million customers. 40 million.
40 million? That I didn't know.
40 million.
I remember when I fell asleep a little early. They were up to 1.5 or 2 million. I was like,
No, 40 million.
fuck. That's a lot.
And
So before you go any further, I heard it differently. I thought this group, I didn't know the name of them, but I thought this group was bribing them for money, saying you got extorting them. No,
No, they were not extorting them for money. They wanted to shut them down.
just completely.
They wanted
Got a
them to
problem
shut
with it.
down. Spoiler alert, not really, because it's been all over the news, but they actually never found out who did it. Can you believe that?
These hackers are good.
Never found out who did it.
Wow.
But so the company did not comply.
No.
The CEO hired like these European, anti-hacker team to try to come in and figure it out. And so slowly these hackers started to release data. First, they released like company confidential stuff, like how they ran the company and financial docs and stuff like that. So not the subscribers. That was at the end. First, they released that, and then the company still didn't shut down. So next, you know what they released? Oh my God, babe. I never had heard this until now. They released personal emails, the CEO's personal emails.
No.
They released them publicly, and he absolutely was having massive amounts of affairs.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. Mister, I love my wife.
So he was going on the talk show circuit talking about Ashley Madison with his wife, and poor thing, she was made to look like such a fool, because not only was she the face of it, but she would go on there and answer questions about how they had a monogamous relationship, and she would be devastated if he ever did that, but she understood the premise of the company, blah blah blah. And not only was he having affairs, he would ask for when he was traveling for business, he would reach out to like madams, and he would set it up to where he would pick from girls, and he would want them to be between 18 to 19 years old.
Wow. Lightweight pedo there, huh?
Yeah.
Pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
The legal envelope.
Yeah. If you are an older man and you want an 18-year-old,
Like our age, like my age.
it means you're a pedo.
You're a pedo. 100%.
You're just trying to stay within the legal limits of
Yes.
your pedophilia.
Pretty much.
Sorry.
I 100% agree.
Totally.
Especially if you're like my age or older, forget about it. You're a pedo.
Yeah.
You're just pushing the parameters. Yeah, they're lucky. They're going barely above legal.
Yeah. So,
Dirty.
Okay, so here's some interesting tidbits from the documentary that I wanted to share. For one, this company and ultimately, well, let's get to the last part first. But what they did, that ultimately they released the database. So, what do you think happened? They released a database with not only every customer's name, but also their fetishes, email communication, like everything. They released it all. And there were politicians, pastors, police officers.
Yes.
There was a lot of very notable people. A lot of people unalived themselves as a result.
Yes, they did. One was like a sergeant. It was all over the media. A police officer.
There was married men who were seeking affairs with other married men.
What?
With other men.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, so there was hetero relationships, but seeking affairs with other men.
You could do that?
Yes,
I
on the
didn't
site.
That's new. I've
Yes.
just learned.
There was
Wow.
also, but here's this other part. So the company, it also was divulged that the company was being very unethical, because they would claim to the men out there that they had a 60% to 40% ratio. So they were claiming they had a lot of women on this database. They claimed 60% of their members were men, 40% were women. They lied.
What was it?
Many of the women were fake women profiles they created, and they were in their call center corresponding, pretending to be these women, sucking the money from these men.
Man,
But they
that's
were
dirty.
never going to have an affair
No.
with the man, because they didn't exist. They were creating fake profiles even before it was a thing, like bots and fake profiles.
I was gonna say that's fast forward to today. That's what's happening with a lot of older men who were like widowed and they fall in love with women over the internet. It's a fake fucking
it's all the
profile.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's all fake. Damn, that's something new I learned. Wow.
Yeah, so they were faking that.
So what was the ratio? Honestly, do you know?
I don't know what the honest ratio was, but significantly less.
Yeah.
And they interviewed a call center member, and they were even trained in the call center to try to keep the cover of the husband, because wives would call and they would want to ask.
I saw that.
They would want to ask, like, what's this charge? And they would say, like, oh, we are we are a general billing agency with many different entities. You know, like
saw
they
that.
would kind of lie.
They're kind of diverting or like kind of playing games,
Yeah.
and then they would refund it, and then he'd go with a new credit card. I saw that.
And then they would call him back to get a new credit card. They became addicted. They were really, these men were like addicted. This is before online dating was a thing. So this is the first time. This is before OnlyFans. This is like the early 2000s.
Yeah, way ahead of its time.
Yeah, and they were saying a lot of people had a problem with it because they said that the company was like exploiting addicts. Like these were people who became addicted. They became addicted. It was like dopamine hits, getting these.
Isn't it funny that addiction comes in all forms? Because the first thing people think about addiction is drugs. Like, no, it's deeper than drugs. There's addictions to everything.
Now, let me ask you this, because you were on dating sites, not Ashley Madison, but did you kind of become addicted to like checking your email to see your matches?
A little bit, I did. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how. I don't know if you want me to get into it.
Yeah, I do, of course.
Okay, well.
It's me, of course I want to know.
So I had an injury in 2008 where it required major surgery in my leg, compartmental syndrome. So I was bedridden for like a good month or so. Bored at home. Back then there was not much. There's no apps. There's same bullshit on daytime TV. Something told me just to sign up. I heard about Plenty of Fish, another one. So I signed up out of boredom, had my little laptop, and I just started like chatting away, you know, just occupying the time, I guess you could say, because nothing else going on. I was a personal trainer working full time, and then I got this injury, and now I'm fucking stuck in bed, and I'm an addict, I admit, and I got lightweight addicted to it, and meeting different women. I was curious about it, because I know I don't need a goddamn dating site to meet women.
But if you couldn't leave your house.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I started doing that and just chatting away.
Yeah.
And I met a few, and I was like, ooh.
You met a few in person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof, rough. A lot of times it's not the same person. They don't look the same. They'll post an old pic where they look better than what they do in real life. A lot of that.
That happened a lot.
A couple heavy set chicks. And I was like, oh yeah, no, not for me. Sorry.
Did you meet anyone worthwhile?
No.
Not a single one?
Not a single one. Not relationship worthy or nothing.
Damn. Well, I mean, a lot of people.
I met a couple wild ones. You know, we hooked up, but that was about it. But not relationship worthy. No.
Yeah. No.
No.
Yeah. Interesting. That's because a lot of people have met their significant other like on a dating site, but I mean, this Ashley Madison totally different ball game, because these are literally affairs, you know. So this was like an ethical question.
The whole thing behind that was like, if you're married and I'm married, and we both want to have an affair, you're not going to snitch on me, and I'm not going to snitch on you, because now we both have dirt on each other.
Yeah. So there's another problem though. What started to happen, and there were some issues, is easy target, right, for extortion, because maybe I'm pretending I'm married. I'm a woman pretending I'm married. I'm going to hook up with a married man that I meet on the site, and then I'm going to extort him for money because I'm not married. I don't have anything to lose. I lied.
You're right.
But you're married, and I'm going to tell your wife if you don't pay me out. That there was no protection from that.
You're super right about that. You're right, because they don't confirm. There's no confirmation. They just go on their word.
The website was they dropped the ball on a lot of things. They also had all over their website, they had all these things that it was a secure site, your information's protected. It was all fake. They didn't put any of their money into security. They put it all into marketing. That's why they were vulnerable to an attack. They're actually saying they think that the attacker was an internal person that was upset with the morals that they knew what was going on with the company, and they were upset by that, so they wanted to take them down.
That's usually the case. Yep.
But because there was a lot of shady things like that. There was another shady thing that they did. So when that list came out, a lot of people thought they were in the clear, because maybe they were part of this website early on, but then when they decided to stop being part of it before the data breach, they paid an extra $19 to get their information wiped from the site. It was an extra upgrade you can pay. Problem is, the company collected the $19, but they did not delete the information. So those people had this false sense of security that they were not part of the data breach, but they absolutely were. And that information was public, and everybody was exposed. There was some Real Housewives of New York a husband that was there. They're actually still married. They stayed together.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was
anybody else? Any celebrities that they
there
talked
was
about?
like some politicians.
I believe that 100%. Politicians are known for that, man.
There was a lot of pastors, to be honest, a lot of religious leaders.
Always. People think religious people are so holy. No, sorry, Bob. No, they're not.
There was this couple that they followed throughout the whole documentary that was interesting, but it was like, this is when it's kind of sad. So he created this profile and did all of this. He was having, they started having kids. They were a young couple, and he just felt like he wasn't getting enough his rocks off. So he started, partaking in this site, had some affairs and things, and then his marriage improved, and so he stopped. But 3 years later down the road is when the data breach happened, and they were at a happy place in their marriage. They actually had become like YouTube vloggers and were very public about their religious beliefs and all of this, and he got exposed. But you know what? They stayed together. She forgave him.
Wow.
They're still together now. And so this was many years ago. So this exposure happened, I think, in 2011. So they've managed to like repair, and I guess you can. I guess that was my question to you. Do you think that a marriage can survive something like that?
Yeah, why not?
The infidelity?
Yeah, why not? What makes you think not?
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, 100% I do.
You do?
Yes. You have
What do you think it takes?
You have to have an open mind, open heart, and forgiveness. You have to find it within you to forgive. Can you forgive? Can you live with that?
I believe if you can handle the rough patch that's going to come with it, because it's going to come with a major rough patch. The trust is broken.
Yeah.
All those freedoms and those great things that you may have had in your relationship, that's all gone. It's like, and it will take a while to rebuild that, like some years. But I think if you get past that, you can rebuild trust. I do feel that it can come back. Yeah.
Could 100%.
Yeah. It's when it's broken multiple times, then that's when it's like, oh yeah.
It's kind of like how many times wives take back their. Maybe it's a little different, but how many times wives take back their alcoholic husband, where they do well, they fall off. They do well, they fall off. Or drug addict husband.
Yeah, it's similar actually. I think because it's like a trust.
Yeah, you're like
trust.
I'm gonna be good, but I'm just gonna go with the boys. But I promise you, I won't drink that and come back out of my mind. We know someone going through that, but we won't blast them. But
yeah, it's like it's the same thing. It's kind of like, I believe, and we actually talk about this on Patreon, that's on the Wednesday episode. I believe that in order to have a healthy, happy relationship, it has to be built on trust and communication. If you don't have that, it's not going to be a happy, healthy relationship. I do also believe that you can have like a break in that and repair it and get back to the happy, healthy, but you're going to have to go through the suck of repairing it, and you both have to want to repair it.
Now, what I think maybe no coming back from, this is just me, is like say I had an affair with your like best friend or a family member, and you did the same with me. I don't think I could. You know what I'm saying? That's
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like I can't. It's hard for me to say.
I don't want to find out anyways.
No, but it's hard for me to say, oh, it can't be done. So I'm sure there's people out there like, no, we actually, because I've heard people that say it improved their relationship.
Yeah,
like they've had
I've
it
heard
better the second time around. I actually don't think it's, and someone said this in the, okay, so there was this one couple on the show, and they were both, well, no, I think he was a member of Ashley Madison. He was married, and he was a member of Ashley Madison, but she knew he was, and she was okay with it. So
really?
Yeah. So like she was okay with it. And so he would partake in his affairs, but he would let her know, and they communicated or whatever. But he made a good point. He said, the reason it works for us is because it's not the sexual act that causes the damage in the relationship. It is the betrayal of the trust and communication that causes the damage.
So for her knowing the trust is there, communication is there.
Yes.
So there's nothing to hide now. So she's comfortable. Like, okay.
So she's not betrayed and so that she was fine with it. And I guess in her previous relationship, she was a cheater because she had a high sex drive and nobody could ever, handle it. So she found her match with this dude who, he was part of Ashley Madison, and they were okay with it.
And the crazy shit is I've had friends that had that happened to them. That their wife or their woman was okay with them. They were communicating, let them do their little rendezvous. Just don't talk about it, but just do your thing and then come back.
Both of them, though?
Not both of them.
Really?
Just one-sided. The man-sided.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can't.
No, you can't. I know.
No.
Well, I should make you say it.
No.
How about you just tell it?
No, I'm not gonna.
I
ain't
know.
snitching on my homies. You're tripping.
Well, I'm just saying. You just try to put me on blast. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
And do you think that could work? Or do you think eventually it causes problems?
That is a good question. It just depends on how much can that person take.
Yeah, because I don't know. There's just something.
I mean, okay, look, let's keep it real. We'll keep it fucking real right here. How many rich-ass dudes cheat on their wives and they stay with them? And they know they're cheating. They know all the time. We know. Celebrity dudes, whatever. All the time. But the woman is with them for what? The paper, the money. I don't know how long she's going to take it for, but she's with them for the dollar. How many times have we seen that?
Yeah, I mean, I know of somebody that is in a marriage that her husband is a flagrant cheater. Everybody knows he's a cheater.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure if she knows he's a cheater, but it would be impossible not to know. And from the outside looking in, they look like a happily married couple.
Right.
So everybody, it's just, you never know what people's agreements or arrangements are, or whether some people decide to turn a blind eye and
Blind eye.
I don't
They're
know.
old school. They're in denial, maybe. Everybody's different. Everybody's mindset is different.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Some people are punching bags. That's just the way they are.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, though, you have to understand that everybody has their own thing
True.
that they're,
Yes.
you know, I agree with the guy actually on the documentary that said the problem is not in the act, the problem is in the betrayal. And I agree with that actually.
Yeah.
So if you're listen, to each their own. It's not my thing, but to each their own. If you and your mate happen to have an agreement and there is no betrayal and there's good communication and there's trust and you do things that are not what society would consider normal.
Yes.
But you two are okay with it, then that's all that matters.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
we know somebody that is married and his wife pulls in chicks for the marriage. We know.
We do?
Oh, we do.
I
We
need
do
to,
know.
I need to talk
Come
to you guys
on,
off
man.
the
Yes, you do. He's a
okay.
wild dude.
Yeah.
You know, come on.
But
You've been around him.
currently?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I know who
Come
you're talking
on,
about.
babe.
I know who you're talking
Hello.
about. I know
Yes,
you're talking
you know.
about.
We've
Yes,
been
and
around him.
that's been going on for
See?
many, many years.
Many years.
And
Still
that's
doing
the
it.
thing. That's
Yes.
that is how he rolls. And
that's how he rolls.
And he treats his woman very well.
Oh, very
and they
well.
have a good relationship.
Exactly.
They have fun together.
Yes.
And that's their thing. That's why,
Yeah.
because we've spent time with them before where he's had the extra.
Yes.
An extra with him.
Yes.
And
See?
it's like, well, that's their thing. It's not for me to judge.
Exactly.
It's not my
but
marriage.
But people have a problem with it. That's not your marriage. That's not
Yeah,
you.
that's not-
That's them.
Yeah, it's like some people
See?
would be like upset and not want you to have that friend or whatever. But that's their thing.
He doesn't
But
do
do you know what I mean? Do
Yeah,
you agree?
He doesn't do nothing in our relationship. That's his thing. He's a
I know,
grown-ass
but people
man.
get insecure or
I know
something.
they do.
But I
that's-
remember, and he seemed to be having a great time
He's still
that
having
day.
a great time to this day.
Still to
Man's
this day.
still living. Yeah,
I
you know.
wonder where
Yeah.
he gets his energy when I see him.
Fucking
But he
guy.
looks happy.
And healthy.
Yeah.
He's older than me by like a decade.
Yeah. And he still drinks and parties and all the
Yes,
things.
yes. Living life. Very successful businessman too. Very successful. Like when I say successful, this guy's making M's.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
See?
and legitimate business.
Legitimate business.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I had forgotten about that one.
Yeah, see?
So I'm curious, what do you guys think? Like, weigh in on this.
Yeah,
This is
shoot
such
it in the comments. I
This
know.
is an interesting topic.
It is.
Did you now also on this topic? I think this documentary stirred up a lot of old stuff, and
I bet it did.
What I've heard.
Stirred the pot.
Yeah, what I've heard is
Rocked the boat.
people that were on that list that kind of got away with it back then because they were not new and noteworthy. Back then they weren't, but now they're maybe social media sensations and now people are finding them on that original list and they're having to pay the piper now 14 years later. It just goes to show that when you do the dirt and you think it's long gone and you got away with it, you never freaking know.
Never know.
Like, for example, many years ago, it used to be common for a woman to lie about who the father of her baby was. She would pick the one that had more money, or, you know, the one that she wanted it to be.
Yeah. So true.
Little did that woman know that years later it would be a very easy thing to do to figure out if somebody was not the biological father or not, just by doing a 23andMe. Oh, I got a 23andMe kit for my birthday. Like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that's not my dad.
We know somebody that happened to.
We
Literally.
actually know someone that happened to.
Exactly.
Well, actually, we won't divulge who it is, but we'll get into a little more detail on that on the after show. But that was because it was shocking to me.
Yeah.
When that happened.
Right.
But that's happening more and more.
Yes.
So you have people that maybe they've gotten away with a lie for the child's entire childhood. And then boom.
Boom. You've come to find out that's not my offspring.
Yeah.
God, that must hurt. That man, talk about a kick in the nuts.
How evil is that?
Evil. And the chick knew the whole time. I don't know what I would do, man. I'll be honest with you, but I don't know what how angry
And
I'd
imagine, like, yeah, in this particular case, there was child support involved and everything because they weren't together. It was crazy. I'll get into a little bit in the after show, but
Yeah.
I definitely want to know, like, what are your thoughts on the whole Ashley Madison thing? Do you remember it going down? Because we were already together when it went down. It came out in 2015.
Yes,
This is when the data breach came out. Guess what? The company still exists.
It's still going?
Because guess what? This whole thing, believe it or not, you know what they say? All press is good press.
Yeah.
All press is good press. It made this website a household name. It enticed people to think, wow, you mean I can find someone who, you know, also likes to, you know, lick spaghetti off your toes and whatever it may
Yeah.
be, because you can get real specific with what you want, real specific. And how many members on the website do you think that the company has now?
Don't say like 50 million.
70 million.
Wow. Damn, dude. I thought OnlyFans was like the king of the game
Well,
now.
I'm sure OnlyFans probably started to put a dent in their pockets over the past few years. But remember, OnlyFans is not a hookup site where they plan to meet up.
No, it's
Ashley
not.
Madison is
That's
people
true.
who are willing to actually connect
Yeah, that's
and
true.
have these affairs. Like, they described some of them on the show. The guys would say, like, how it would go down. Like, you know, we'd meet each other. He goes, like, you know, the first time I met one of the people, you know, we basically started kissing right away, got a room, and bingo bango.
Wow. Interesting. Damn. Crazy. I didn't know. See, I didn't finish watching. I didn't know they survived.
I couldn't
70.
believe it. How did that not crumble the company? To be
Right.
honest, if I were some of the people that were members right now today, I'd be shaking in my boots a little bit that this documentary came out. Crap.
Or how did they not get a class action lawsuit?
They did, but they didn't get. They awarded. I think it was $12 million in a class action lawsuit. It's not very much.
Peanuts.
Peanuts.
To what they're making.
Yeah.
So they're like, fuck it, we'll pay this little fine or whatever, and boom, here you go.
Yeah.
Keep operating. Just goes to show you.
Yeah, it just goes to show you, though. But what makes a successful business? A successful business is made out of finding a need and filling it.
That's true.
And so they found a need. There is a desire for people to have no strings attached affairs. And they actually named the company Ashley Madison after the two most common female names at that time, Ashley and Madison.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't know. I was always wondering where they come up with that name because it's catchy. Sounds good. Ashley
and it
Madison.
sounds like not seedy. Or,
No, it doesn't.
It sounds like upscale.
Yes.
Has upscale vibes to it. Very interesting, though.
Fuck. That's crazy that it survived. I thought for sure it would have got sunk. But you know what it is, too? I'll be honest with you. Is like you said, you asked me earlier, like, was I addicted to
Yeah.
the whole dating site? Mm-hmm. for these people, the addiction is the rush of them cheating. It's like a rush. Like I'm cheating. I'm doing something dirty. People love that. Oh my God, I'm doing something dirty. And they get off on that too. That's part of the excitement. You know what I mean? The cheating husbands, I'm sure cheating wives, but a lot of men get off on that. The excitement, like, oh my God, I'm going to go have this affair. Their adrenaline pumps.
Yeah, and it's just like any other addiction, it escalates, right? At first they think, oh, I'll be okay just like sending sexy messages back and forth. That'll be enough. And then that stops being enough. And then it's like, okay, pictures now. Okay, videos. Okay, now I got to meet her. Or now, it escalates. The sexual addiction, just like any addiction, it escalates. That's what they were kind of talking about. But they were...
True.
One of the things that got brought up, and I thought this was an interesting question, was, is it the company's fault? Are they responsible? Are they like a drug dealer exploiting drug addicts? Or are they just providing a service and it's the people who are subscribing to the service that's their fault? Like why are you gonna blame, although in my opinion, the company's at fault for the poor business practices that they did. They weren't secure.
Yeah.
They were lying about deleting the information, the fake profiles, so all of that. But beyond that, is the company at fault for providing a service, or is the person purchasing the service at fault, or is it both?
The person purchasing the service. They don't have to.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm gonna want to go off topic here, but it's the same thing when people went on a tirade against McDonald's and the whole supersized.
I was going to say that.
Oh, it's McDonald's fault that I'm fat and overweight and they're supersized. I had to take that off the menu, by the way. They shouldn't have had that on the menu. You don't have to go there, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Homie. I drive by McDonald's every day.
Yeah.
I keep going.
I was going to say that because my opinion is that it's not the company's fault beyond other than the unethical practices. The unethical practices, that's one thing. But it's not the company's fault. I'm not going to be the dumb wife who blames Ashley Madison and not my husband for the affair. No, I'm sorry. Because you have a choice to do that or not do that. And if it's not going to be Ashley Madison, it's going to be the massage parlor. It's going to be prostitutes.
Yes.
It's going to be a random stranger on Instagram. It's going to be somebody else. So to me, that doesn't really matter. But I am surprised that there are 70 million people currently on Ashley Madison right now. That's kind of crazy.
Just goes to show you, man. It's crazy.
So anyways, guys, sound off in the comments. I'm super curious to hear about this one. And thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. And we will see you on the after show.